We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. Yeah, this is Everton Blender, and it's all about the young police from Jamaica. Seeing Young Police Channel. Big up yourself, Everton Blender said that. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. Blessed love, Rastafari.
Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon members. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Yeah, so if this is the first time here at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we highly recommend subscribing to stay updated with our latest content. Hit the subscription button above, click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel release a video. Remember that this channel is not an entertainment channel. You know, entertainment channels give you a average between 10 to 15 minutes. This is not an entertainment channel, so you have to go elsewhere if you want entertainment. Remember to give this video a thumbs up because you will find it helpful and informative. Please remember to share the video with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, mama, papa, side chick or side man, and tell them to tell a friend about the Jamaica Young Police Channel. You can join the Patreon squad. By doing so, you will gain access to exclusive content that cannot be played on YouTube due to various restrictions. To unlock this untapped collection of videos, click the link in the description box below. Joining our Patreon community allows you to explore contents that complies with laws, rules and regulations while avoiding disruption to our channel's functionalities. Douglas Chambers, who was killed by PMP criminal organization members, and it came from the top, and to date the person who have given that order has not been arrested and charged for that murder. So you can go to Patreon and you'll be able to see the face and name of those persons. So thanks for your continuous support, and we look forward to providing you with exceptional content. So moving on to today's video. Yes, welcome one and all. Sorry for the delay. Yes, as you're looking at right now, you're looking at your LCD. You can see that we're showing you Michael Manley decision to send 2,500 young men, including my cousin. Some of them may be your cousin, to Cuba for military training during his tenure as Prime Minister. So we're talking, so the man of the hour is this man, Jimmy Carter. You know, Jimmy Carter has passed away this week in America, and he was 100 years old. So some Jamaican people, they have been circulating things, they filming Jimmy Carter. And those of you who are experiencing any form of freedom of speech, or and the necessary, you have to give thanks to Jimmy Carter, because if it was for Jimmy Carter and the American government, most of us would not be able to be speaking English, or not only speaking English, but experiencing freedom. Because we had a man, by the name of Michael Manley, who want to be leader for life. But they won't tell you that. That's why I would tell you, say the PMP is the worst thing that happened to Jamaica. The 2,500 young men that Michael Manley sent to Cuba, including family members of mine from Jonestown, And they went to Cuba and returned and unleashed terrorism on the Jamaican people. That's not somebody who love its people. So that's why we tell us, Mark Gold in the second coming of Michael Manley. Michael Manley, the only thing that Michael Manley imparted to our people, black people, was terrorism. He didn't impart to them education or anything like that. All he imparted to them was terrorism, for them to kill each other and terrorize their brothers and sisters. So we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, yeah man, we are hail Jimmy Carter as a hero to save our country, Jamaica, from become Cuba. Remember, Michael Manley, tells the world that Jamaica won't be walking on its knees, and Jamaica would align themselves with the Soviet bloc. Those of you who know about the Soviet bloc would know that it's communism at its best. The Soviet bloc has nothing to do with democracy, freedom of speech. They were all about terrorism. So Jimmy Carter's strategic role in Jamaica during Michael Manley's socialist era from 1976 to 1980. Remember that Jimmy Carter's election was November, so it wouldn't start until he took office in 77, but it was an ongoing thing. What happened in 1976 in Jamaica with Michael Manley? Most Jamaicans, they don't teach you that. As we tell you, you have a thing named the Jamaica Gleaner, or the the Gleaner. We used to have another one named the Daily News. The Daily News, went under because of bankruptcy. Anytime in Jamaica you speak the truth against the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization and expose them as enemy of poor people, their people do everything to boycott that business, and they will use the government, the levers of government, to ruin such business. The same way that they did in the 1990s and robbed $5 trillion from Jamaicans. 5 trillion. Yes, the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization robbed $5 trillion from the poor people during the FinSac debacle. That's how Mark Golding and Peter Golding, that's how these people got rich, and PJ Pattersons and all of the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization hierarchy and officials. So the 8th, Jimmy Carter and the American government for what they have done to save us as Jamaicans from becoming a part of the Soviet bloc. But we're going to show you the hypocrisy of the Jamaican people. The same, when we say Jamaican people, not the Jamaican PNP people, because people who are PNP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters, activists and voters, they don't see themselves as Jamaicans. They see themselves as PNP. PNP supporters, activists and voters are not Jamaicans, they are PNP. Because even the Jamaican flag, they try to change the color from the green to orange. So they want everything to do with PNP, nothing to do with Jamaica. Because they wanted to change the emblem of the flag, the colors in the flag. And the ones who are living in the United States of America that hated Edward Seaga, it's a disservice. Hated Edward Seaga and praised Michael Manley. Not only that you're a traitor to the PNP, but you're a traitor to yourself. Because on God's earth, you are going to live in a country, you and your children living in a country that you call the Great Satan. You're supposed to be living in Cuba or Russia. Growing up, I never liked Cuba and Russia based on what I have heard, experienced, and felt and seen in Jamaica. We had a black man from Cuba named Ulysses Estrada. At one point in time, this man is Cuban. At one point in time, this man was behaving like he was the de facto prime minister in Jamaica. But your parents, your grandparents, or your parents, they won't tell you this, because especially if they are PNP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters, activists and voters, they are not going to tell you the truth Because you have to understand, telling you the truth about their party will expose that they are corrupt and they do not mean they don't love the Jamaican people and they do not love their own country. And that will expose them as traitors. So they will pretend like nothing happened. But we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we are going to expose them and tell you as it is. We are not here to sugarcoat anything. We are not here for views. We are just here to educate the people and tell you the truth. The real mama papa truth. The truth don't take sides. Period. So those who believe that the truth takes sides, boy, you're being biased. The truth not biased, man. You understand? The truth is nothing but the truth. And we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, yeah man, I will always tell the people the truth. Because the truth hurt only the guilty. If we want to save Jamaica and the Jamaican people, we have to know our history. That's why they teach you history in school. If you go university, they teach you history, and history is a thing that they used to chant the better part for the students so that they can do better at anything that they're doing. But you know, in some university, especially in Jamaica, they don't teach black people their true history. They teach them history in a way for them to be sympathetic to criminals at the University of the West Indies. Those of you who remember Mutty Perkins will tell you that it's a ghetto university. Yes, because it does not impart knowledge to black people and help them in any way. All they do is destroy them for them to be sympathetic to criminals and be criminal-minded people. So that's why when at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, when I tell you people that the real criminals in Jamaica are the educated people, we're talking to people with the degrees. And the reason why we tell you that is because of the things that they have imparted to our people at the University of the West Indies. When you have men like Trevor Monroe, been hailed as a Jamaican hero, a man who has contributed to the death of thousands of Jamaicans, that goes to show you that these people, they are not serious about moving us forward as a people. They're all about the destruction of our people. Jimmy Carter, as we can tell you, Jimmy Carter was a hero, and Jimmy Carter saved us as Jamaican people and Jamaica from becoming a part of the Soviet bloc. So we are starting now. So Jimmy Carter, yes, we haven't seen the people in the. You're not going to expect, don't expect, you know, the media houses in Jamaica to praise Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter isn't your typical Democrat as Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who I tell black man, say, hey, open up your body and take any and say your body. I tell black man to be rear admiral. Jimmy Carter wasn't a man like that. Jimmy Carter was, although he was a Democrat, he was conservative and he was a Christian. Jimmy Carter never support them and them up is down and down is up. Jimmy Carter never support even them confusion. So you want to hear the PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization, heal him. Let me tell you, say Jimmy Carter mash up Jamaica. In which, those of you who can read, just go back and you will see in the archives. When Michael Manley took over the reign of the Jamaican government in 1972, the Jamaican was en route to become Singapore. Michael Manley put the spokes in the economy and crash it because of his socialistic ideology. Want to give poor black people, yeah. Boy, them when I come from slavery and when I suffer, and boy, when ancestors working hard enough, so a time now for reap the benefits of slavery, and we don't want nobody to work. So who is going to maintain the economy? So at the time when this man took over, yes, the same man, Michael Manley, Jamaica was en route. When Michael Manley won in 1972, Jamaica was en route to becoming the Singapore And Michael Manley turned Jamaica into the criminals' paradise by creating killers who turn on their neighbors. Liars won't tell you that. But I am telling you because I am talking from my experience, what I have seen, heard, and felt. The Jamaica Labour Party refused to educate the people because they are afraid of the PMP. The PMP is a terrorist organization, you know. I can tell you that. As I said to you people before, and I say again, you won't find any Jamaican who's going to be truthful as yours truly to you, the audience members, whether you're in Jamaica, in the diaspora, or whether you're just someone who tune into the Jamaica Young Police channel to hear our commentary. But we are talking and telling you from memory. These people, they have sent over 5,000 young men to Cuba to train them in terrorism. As we said, Michael Manley destroyed Jamaica. So those of you who love the killing and all of these things, yeah, Michael Manley and the PMP criminal organization is your parties. That is what you want. But if you want to live in a peaceful society, as the people, and we're fully educated, not fully dunce, as you see what the second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Golden, you embrace the Singapore model. The Singapore model that we were en route to back then when Edward Seaga wasn't even the opposition leader. In 1972, it was Hugh Shearer who was the prime minister then. And we can tell you this. Yes. So as we said to you, it was Hugh Shearer who was the prime minister then in Jamaica. And Jamaica was en route to become the Singapore of the Caribbean. Because guess what? You see, the blueprint that Singapore used and become a first world country, it wasn't written by any PMP, LGBTQ. No PMP had any input on it. None. Zero. This PMP never have anything for Jamaica to become a first world country. Never. I tell you, I am from a PMP community. Only two of us left. And all of you, including Mark Golden, Peter Golden, Peter Golden, Dayton Campbell, Oglesome, Wilfred Rattigan, and all of you who are planning say you don't want me dead. How many times do you think you can kill me? I remember, you're gonna die too, All of you must die one day. I have never spoken any lies about the PMP because I am from a PMP community. I have seen what you have done, you people have done, what the PMP have done to my people. If I don't speak up, that means I don't love myself and I don't love my people. It's two of us left. Two. So what? I want the next generation to come for you people to destroy them too. When the only thing that you have imparted to our people is death and destruction, terrorism. You don't impart love. You don't impart humanity and respect for human rights and people's property and their lives. You make people's life have no value. All you have taught is hatred and division and killing. And you make excuse of murderers. On God's earth, you're killing another human being. How is that put money? How does that make your life better? What joy do you get from it? So those of you who want to live in a peaceful society, you cannot look to these people. These people are the enemy of black people. And when I say that, I say it without any apologies. I don't care who do not like me or who do not want nothing to do with me. I care zero about you and your feelings. All I care about is the truth. We know that the world, we are living in a world in a 2025 where up is down and down is up. Where lies are truth and truth is double truth. But we can stand out differently. We don't have to be like them. We know that the people who control the system are liars. We don't have no people. We remember, those of us who know about history, know that we are the original terrorists and the original liars and the authors of lies and propaganda are from. They are not from Africa. They are not from Asia. They are not from North America. They are from Europe. Europe is the epicenter of the devil's domain. And that is where Michael Manley is from. Michael Manley was born in England. Michael Manley is not a Jamaican. But the same year that they tell the second coming of Michael Manley is Mark Golding. And then people buying and sucking up to it. Because he says that he was born in Jamaica. Edward Seaga is the author of the Singapore's Blueprint, which is why it is a first world country. Although it's an island, but you know, people still refer to it as a country. It wasn't the blueprint for Singapore. Why Singapore is a first world country? It wasn't written by anyone in the PMP. The PMP never have a future for Jamaican people to live in a peace, unity, and an educated society. The PMP, the only thing that they have imparted to our people is criminality and terrorism. Just look at all of the PMP criminal organization communities in Jamaica. If it wasn't for Jimmy Carter, it would be a communist state. Because it would be aligned with the Soviet bloc, which is Russia. But you know, it was the same after 13 years after the Cold War, the collapse. We'll go into that. So the blueprint that Edward Seaga created, a first world country, and the licky voters choose the one day bellyful candidate. Yeah, then choose Michael Manley. Michael Manley uses the same tactics that they use against Marcus Garvey. The one day bellyful thing. Because I know the Jamaican people licky. Yes. As I said, as a youth born and grow in the belly of the beast, I could have fallen victim to the same culture and would be at the would be at Calvary, Maypen, Dovecat, or Meadowrest. But thank God I am here. I could have fallen prey to the same culture because it was steep in the psyche of all of us. But parenting and community and your community. So never forget that. So the man that they hated the most, black people, because this man wasn't promoting terrorism. And we tell you, because we are from the belly of the beast. We cannot hear from people who are older than even my parents that will tell you that in our community of Jonestown, Labour Right and PMP used to live together. Labour Right used to get work for PMP people down by the wharf. Everybody lived together in the community at Jonestown as one, as Jamaicans. It was this man from England, Michael Manley. He's the one, along with Tony Sparling. Tony Sparling come from Trenchtown. And Tony Sparling inject his hatred and division to our people and cause all of the chaos. Everything that we're seeing right now is a manifestation of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization philosophy and culture that they are imparted to us as a people. So when they're talking about, if you notice, you will never hear the PMP denounce criminality because they are the architect of it in Jamaica. Those of you who remember, they are the one that give us a gang named the Klansman gang. So we have to thank, if it wasn't for Jimmy Carter, Jamaica, wouldn't be existent right now, the Jamaica that these same people who are living and enjoying. The freedom that the Jamaican people are enjoying in Jamaica, it was done through blood, sweat, and tears by Jamaican patriots. Some of them never trained. And guess what? Our police force, our Jamaica Constabulary Force, sided with the enemies of Jamaica for destroy it. For this man, the man at the bottom, Michael Manley. Michael Manley's decision to send 2,500 young men, including maybe your cousin. He said, my cousins to Cuba for military training during his tenure as prime minister. If him, Michael Manley, did love Jamaican people, why you send 2,500 young men to train in a guerrilla warfare? We didn't have an invading force in Jamaica. He had sent these men to Cuba to return and kill Jamaican people, their neighbors, their aunts, their uncle, their cousins, because if they weren't saying power, if it dead, every labor right for dead, and every Babylon, every police is dead. So thanks to this man, Jimmy Carter, he's the one that saved us from become Cuba. So Jimmy Carter, the 39th president of the United States, served from January 20th, 1977 to January 20th, 1981. So you know that Ronald Reagan was the man who took over after Jimmy Carter, and he was the man that helped to foster in all of the economic growth that we see in the 1980s when Edward Seaga was prime minister. So 1981 overlapping with Michael Manley's second term as Jamaica's prime minister from 1976 to 1980. Before we continue with Carter's role in Jamaica during this period, primarily involved U.S. foreign policies under the broader context of the Cold War. Let's me remind you, that most of you, I don't know if your parents, if you have access to these information, because you know that the Gleaner is the only media house or media that exists from then to now. And for you to access these information, you have to pay for it. Anytime you have a media company, any media company, and you have to pay to access historical information, you know that they're enemy of the people because they don't want you to be knowledgeable. So that's why the Gleaner Company makes sure that you, as a Jamaican and Jamaican in a diaspora and people all over the world, for you to access information on this wickedness that happened during 1976 to 1980, you have to pay for it. Majority of Jamaican people are poor. And worse, the people them from my community, they don't read. So they must say what I was told. And everything that them tell them is lies. They don't tell them the truth. So we know we are going to talk and tell you from memory. In 1976, I will tell you already about a man named Spy Robinson. Ask your mother, your father, if you know, or your grandfather, or your great grandparents, if them still alive, ask them about a man named Spy Robinson. You'll never hear Dean Jackson Miller talk about him. You'll never hear Oral Tracy talk about him. You won't hear Cliff Hughes talk about him. Reason being, all of these people are PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters and activists and voters. And they are supporting the big belly white man from England, the second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Wallen. Spy Robinson was the man who was supposed to kill Edward Seaga. He was detailed. He was given that job by D.K. Duncan, Keeblemon, and Michael Manley to kill Edward Seaga, because they saw Seaga as a thorn in their PMP side, because Edward Seaga was getting so popular with the people in Jamaica because he was going around and he had a message for them. And when Spy Robinson was held with a gun, legal, Spy Robinson wasn't a government employee. He wasn't a police officer or a soldier, and he had a government firearm. And because Michael Manley and his friends wanted to keep it under the rug, they call a state of emergency filled with lies talking about the government that they're trying to overthrow the government. But yet, in a 2024, when we have all of these things open up for the world to see, the PMP, along with this big belly man from England, Mark Golding, trying to overthrow the Jamaican government from foreign soil. Not one of your media house tell the Jamaican people this. It is right out there. We have it on the Jamaica Young Police channel. We have realized that that YouTube have removed some videos from our channel, even without telling us anything. You understand? That's what they have done without telling us anything at all. But we're gonna, replace them. And it's everything that all of the videos that they have removed, the videos there was no strike on the channel or anything, nothing. When we were going through the channel, we realized that they removed some very, very important videos. So we realized that the channel is under attack from within. They had told us, Yes, Oliver Clue, I tell you, Oliver Clue told us in last year, November, that they won't stop until they bring the Jamaica Young Police channel to its knees. And they won't stop working on it. And they said that they have been working from early last year, but it seems like they have to work harder. We won't stop. We won't stop. So what Michael Manley did then, he calls a fake state of emergency and arrest his opponents, people from the Jamaica Labour Party side. I was a youngster then. As I said to you before, and I say again, my parents, especially my mother, used to read the Gleaner regular. Used to have the Sunday Gleaner, big, and then they have the Daily News. And when they call the state of emergency, Michael Manley, they tell pure lies and arrest people. That's why I tell you, people, you see, when somebody's a liar, don't expect them at no time to change. A liar will never change. You understand? So they arrest all of the people them that they saw. To them were their enemies of the PMP. Arrest them, and then they call the election. And the day of the election, they won't tell you this, Deon Jackson Miller won't tell you this. Oral Tracy won't tell you this. And Cliff Hughes won't tell you this. At the day of the election in 1976, that's at the election that that's the election that Bob Marley did not endorse Michael Manley and they tried to kill him. They're not gonna tell you that either, When Lenky Rai and Joe Brown shoot Bob Marley. Lenky Rai and Joe Brown come from Concrete Jungle, my community. Bob Marley wasn't shot by anyone in a Tivoli Gardens. Lenky Rai is Turnaball's brother from Curry Party or Jungle. Everyone in a jungle know that. Because we can't tell you, nobody can chat so like criminals. And those of you who remember, them took down the video, YouTube took down the video of Lenky Rai's son, Dwayne Douglas, came on the program and admit that his father wasn't involved, but he calls other people's name, even in eventide killing, in which we know that he was just trying to protect his dead father's reputation. No criminal can have no reputation, period. So they called, so what he had done after they called the illegal state of emergency, arrested all as the opponent, Oliver Babsy Grange, Pernell Charles, and a lot more. He would like to go after Edward Seaga, but they couldn't, because through Seaga, not only because he renounced his American, but he was an born American. So the day of the election, they arrest all of the indoor polling people them from the the Labour Party, and also the PMP won the election. They won the election through fraud. They didn't win it because the people wanted them, because the people had seen through Michael Manley that he wasn't for the people. He was only for himself, wanted to be prime minister for life. Want Jamaica to become Cuba because Jamaica was aligned with Cuba. So based on that election, the American and the international community decided now to start to squeeze Jamaica financially. So don't let them fool you. Michael Manley was not for black people. Michael Manley, the only thing Michael Manley imparted to us is criminality and the PMP. So don't let them fool you and tell you about, yes, anybody tell you say them love you because you're poor, if you run, stay far from them, because that's the only reason why them like you. It's because you're poor and they want you to stay poor. Remember, I see in PMP, them 8 people were successful and rich people. Them 8 people who work hard and have them money. And they are the same one who pass prove and lose law. So they don't want even you as a poor man were involved, whether in a nefarious activity if you have anything on them alone for thief. Yes, like how them rob the people them in the June FinSac over $5 trillion. Them not tell you that. And thousands of Jamaicans commit suicide. The PMP now go tell you that. Dean Jackson Miller now go tell you that. Oral Tracy now go tell you that. And Cliff Hughes now go tell you that. So the PMP rob thousands of Jamaicans over $5 trillion. Rob the people them. Thousands of Jamaica commit suicide. You know, I go see that in Jamaica, Gleaner. Now the observer, you know, I see that because guess what? Them the people there is not for poor people, they are for themselves. So during Jimmy Carter's rule in Jamaica, 1977 to 1981, Michael Manley administration pursued democratic socialism and strengthened ties with Cuba under Fidel Castro, which raised concerns in Washington. The US under Carter was weary of Jamaica becoming more aligned with socialist and communist states in the Caribbean, especially as Carter sought to balance human rights advocacy with strategic geopolitical interests. The Carter administration provided some economic aid to Jamaica, but also exerted subtle pressure to steer the country away from deepening the alignment with Cuba and the Soviet bloc. I will tell you about the Soviet bloc. That's the headquarters in Russia, where them have all of these countries, Ukraine, Belarus. You have to go back and learn the history of them thing there. The Soviet bloc, what them call it, the Soviet Union, it was just like them are trying to be like the United States of America, where you have all of these states come together and you have one country. That was what they were trying to do, but not on a democratic banner, on a communism, terrorism. And them kill millions of the Ukrainian people, you know, to build their kind of economy. That is there, you know, you understand, for you to educate yourself. So the US economic policies during this period often include withholding or reducing aid as leverage against the government perceived as socialist leaning. So at the time, because Michael Mann is aligned with Fidel Castro, Jamaica did not get the amount of aid from the American government. And we can tell you, say, because Michael Mann did take us on a different path, him crash the economy, mash up Jamaica economy, set the dollar from 80 cents to $1 and will never recover to make the Jamaican dollar have no value. So Carter's foreign policy emphasized human rights, which put some focus on Jamaica's internal governance. So at the time now, what was happening now when Michael Manley was Prime Minister, the police, I can't tell. You have two police that used to operate for my community. Them man they are more PMP than Michael Manley. Them dead still low enough. Cause wicked. Sometimes the wicked don't live long. One of them named Big Youth, and another one named Barrington Hamilton. These two police officers were the ones I saw as a youth growing up, issuing guns at the corner of Love Street and Price Street, right at the corner where Jonestown Primary is. Both policemen issuing out M16 rifles and pistols to young men in my community, the ones that will go to Cuba and train and come back. Yes, and these guns weren't to protect Jonestown from Rima people. These guns were there to kill the people them in Rima and labor rights. And then at the time now, what the police them used to do, Big Youth and Barrington Hamilton, they would come in the community in a marked police vehicle. At the time, the police used to have an emblem, the coat of arms. That's not there anymore because it's all about saving money. They don't even have that on the police vehicle anymore. So show you the police force has been involved in. Whilst other police departments in our world, from day one, the emblems of the police force haven't changed. So even the coat of arm, PMP get rid of that still though, you know. Yeah, the coat of arm that was on the police, the doors are the police vehicles. Yes. You know, so out of many one, right on the police vehicle. And what both cops have done, they would come in the community and they would pick up men with illegal guns, M16. And then you would hear volleys of gunshots coming from the direction of Rima. Where the same police, them, you know, and thugs, them go down there and kill people in a Rima. And then we come back and knock fists and drink beer. And then we bore so much labor, them just kill. As if these people are not Jamaicans. I talk from memory, you know. And the same people them in Rima would say a police vehicle drive through them community and kill them resident. And the police hierarchy would say a lie. Them know, you know, the police, because the police hierarchy was in cahoots with the PMP government led by Michael Manley. And they would say a lie the people them are Rima tell. They know it was true. But because they were a part of the destruction of the Jamaican people, because they might benefit, because they might get money, they might get all kind of things. So they never have no patriotism in them. And as a man like me, if I was around then as a police officer, I would be dead. Because you have to either just ride with them or you get killed. So that's what they have done during that time. Then I can tell you about another place now, where them called Mall Road. Yes, where Carl Thompson, you show how many M16 up there too. Yeah, what police did name Gully Rye. People come from Mall Road, Tower Island and place. We attack from memory, you know, because enough people don't know, you know, say, Uri where used to live on Clinking Avenue were dead. As them would I say, him are the original father for dancehall. Uri is from Setimo Street at Jonestown. And it's the same PMP why Uri have to leave Jonestown, when born and grow up, and seek refuge in a labor right community because they were extorting him. Every time Uri travel, on tour and come back, Uri said come like a fiend pitting them. A man a demand, if him give a man 100 US when him go the first time, the next time a 200 him want, and the next time a 300, and him feel like him in a work for them. And him leave, move from Jonestown and go seek refuge in a PMP turn Uri in a labor right supporter. Although he never come out publicly and said. So all of these things now, I am telling you, this is when me learn evil, because my father, you are your friend. I tell you about the police on here, Gully Rye. Gully Rye would have load up the vehicle from Malwood with men with gun, M16, and they would have go in a tower and shoot it up. They even shoot up a man bar when he cleared the shoe. Cleared the shoe was killed in the 90s. And I can't tell you by a police on him, Nicholson, a detective named Nicholson. Cleared the shoe was a big labor right. At the time I was police, you understand, when Nicholson kill him, you understand, and get a 45 from him. Cleared the shoe all bad man. Anyone who's from Marlwood, Tower Hill, Cockburn Pen, know of these issues. And those of you who can say, tell me, say a lie, me I tell. I talk from memory about Gully Rye, where the PMP use police to kill them own people. Because they are on the other side of the political aisles. They don't believe in ideas or terrorism. So that's why we tell us Mark Gold in the second coming of Michael Manley. So that's why we are hail Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter was talking about human rights. And I like Jamaican for Justice, we are aligned to the PMP criminal organization and defend criminal. At the time, Jimmy Carter was talking about the police force killing the Jamaica Labour Party voters and activists. People them know say a labor right. Them use the police them to kill them. And at the time, them control the media, which is JBC. Them control the police force. Because these people, them see themselves as Jamaicans. Them see themselves as PMP. And that's why Jimmy Carter was emphasizing on human rights, which put some focus on Jamaica's internal governance. So while Carter publicly maintained a position of non-interference, his administration monitored Jamaica's political situation, especially the polarized and violent elections of 1980. So we are telling them about declassified documents and accounts suggest that the US through agency like the CIA monitor Jamaica closely during this period. Yeah, and those of you who just are joining the live, yeah, remember, give the video, show the video some love, and share the video with your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Share it with them. Because this, this is a class, we tell you an entertainment channel over here. We don't tell you things to make you feel nice. We are telling you the real mama papa truth. And we are telling you what happened in our country and what we can prevent from happening. So we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we are celebrating the life of Jimmy Carter, who born 1924 and died 2024. This is a man we save with. So don't listen to them, the blue hands, and the liars them. So some alleged covert US activities aim to destabilize Manley's government. This is what they are saying. Or influence public opinion against his socialist policies through the concrete evidence directly linking Carter administration to such effort remains debated. So this is where the PMP and them surrogates have out there. Say, boy, Jimmy Carter, do everything for destabilize Manley government. When Michael Manley mash up the economy, yeah, you understand? And I saw them even kill later on men like Ted Ogilvy. So Carter administration supported a broader Caribbean basin strategy to counter the influence of Cuba and Soviet Union. This indirectly affected Jamaica as the US strengthened relationship with other regional allies who opposed socialism. Socialism was never good for black people because it created a form of dependency, make you lazy, beggy, licky, bad mind, and you're jealous of other people. That's why most of the Jamaican people them who involved in a criminality, if you notice how them own friends, them always kill them. That's how the PMP impart to them. They don't impart love. So that's why I don't know how a man become criminal, because as a hear Mande's brother, in my PMP, Ian, as a hear what Ian say, when him all criminal, when him used to go out with the other criminal, them, him stay at the back, because him don't want nobody shoot him in him head back, because him say, I see people them, when you want them at them kill you after you do all, you commit your crime. Because you don't know. May I ask him, how you live a life like that? That's why I'm saying give it up, because him couldn't live like that. When a man even come look for you, you don't know if I kill him, I come kill you. And yet still, this are the life where the PMP are impart to youth them in a 2025. So we hail Jimmy Carter as the man who saved Jamaica from us becoming Cuba. All of the PMP them are living in the United States of America and still a big up Michael Manley. Not only that you're a traitor to Michael Manley, you're a traitor to yourself. Because if you live in America, you have nothing named shame. You should be living in Cuba or Russia. These are the countries you're supposed to be living. You're not supposed to live in America. America are the great Satan. Growing up and based on the things that I've heard in a Jonestown, I could never like Russia or Cuba if you want to curtail my freedom. So I would never visit those countries unless they become democratic. So while Jimmy Carter presidency was not aggressively interventionist, as his successors, his administration's policies towards Jamaica were shaped by Cold War priorities, emphasizing containment of socialism, economic influence, and promoting US-friendly political systems in the region. The full extent of US involvement remains a subject of historical analysis, particularly regarding alleged covert operations during Manley's leadership. Jimmy Carter's role in Jamaica between 1976 and 80, during Michael Manley's reign as Prime Minister, must be examined through the lens of Cold War geopolitics and the ideological clash between capitalism and socialism. Michael Manley's administration championed democratic socialism, forging alliances with Cuba and other leftist regimes, which alarmed the United States. Carter, as President of the United States from 1977 to 81, had a significant yet nuanced role in shaping US-Jamaican relationship during this transformative and turbulent period. So the Cold War context and Carter's approach. So enough people don't know about the Cold War. You know? The Cold War, that was when the same Soviet bloc, they want the world to become communist. Communist is a system where power is just in the hands of a few. You don't have no right, you can't vote, you the people, just like in China, the people in China, them can't choose them leader, like how the people them in India, them can't choose Modi. No, and that's a certain few people in a communist party, and them determine who will be them leader. So that's why we don't want that's why countries like that we never visit, one would never visit. Saudi Arabia, them a total different thing, because them not try to exert their worldview and philosophy on the world. That's why we tell the Jamaican people, say, 20 years from now, anyway, anyhow, we do not get to act together. And 20 years from now, we are going to have a Chinese prime minister in Jamaica. And that's when, if I am still here, that is when, just remember I tell you that, that is when the same black man of Jamaica have to say tata to Jamaica. Because at the time now, you're going to have a Chinese head of the Jamaica Defense Force. And most of the officers them in a Jamaica Defense Force are going to be Chinese. One thing with the Chinese, them take education serious. Whilst black people, they don't take education serious. All they think about is terrorism. They want to be dons. They want to control community. Whilst they want to control community, the Chinese them are planning to control the country. And when we have a Chinese prime minister in a Jamaica, 20 years from now, just remember, you're going to have the head of the JDF, a Chinese, head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Chinese, because they are the one who's going to be of the public service. All of these people and all these various committee and civil organization, the same Chinese them. So if Jamaicans don't have laws to prevent the Chinese people them from China, we're coming to Jamaica as entrepreneurs to make them children were born there become Jamaican citizens, just like that. Jamaica is in for a rude awakening. You can't live from Jamaica and go to China, have children in China, and your child is a Chinese. You're not a Chinese. Because China now have black people. So that's what will go up in 20 years from now. If I am still here, to live to see this manifest. So to every Jamaican today who enjoy freedom to speak openly and use your phones without government surveillance, that I man have to thank Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, not no Michael Manley, not no PJ Patterson, Jimmy Carter and Edward Seaga. Them why you have freedom there. So the 1970s were a pivotal decade in global politics, marked by intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. For Washington, Jamaica's alignment with democratic socialism and Manley and its growing ties to Fidel Castro's Cuba were viewed as direct threats to U.S. interest in the Caribbean. Carter inherited this geopolitical challenge and had to balance his administration focus on human rights with Cold War imperatives. So the human rights that they were talking about then, the American government, it had nothing to do with police that kill criminal. It was police killing labor right supporters and voters. If you were a labor right activist, supporters are known, you better run away from your community. And they might find you and kill you. And then a bad man will kill you. Police, because police were aligned with the government. The police weren't doing their duties as police officers. They were doing it as hitmen for the PMP. Because it's all about numbers and votes. Carter's foreign policy strategy in Jamaica revolved around containment of socialist ideologies. While he emphasized diplomacy and refrain from overt aggression, his administration took strategic actions to limit Manley's influence and curtail Jamaica's drift toward the Soviet bloc. Carter's role was thus both indirect and impactful, shaping Jamaica's political and economic trajectory during a period of heightened tension. So one of Carter's primary tools of influence in Jamaica was economic aid. And you know, as usual, Michael Manley make we reach down to that stage where we start beg. When Michael Manley took over the economy in 1972, Jamaica was on a trajectory to become Singapore. At the time, lawlessness was a thing where the Jamaican people shunned, but they never embraced criminality. At the time, Shearer said to the police, shoot and ask question after. Who you think defend the criminal them? Michael Manley and the PMP. That's why we have so many criminals in Jamaica. They never want a peaceful Jamaica. They never want a Jamaican where you can live in a peace. You, Shearer, tell the police them to shoot and ask question after. Meaning say, the people them we are kill other people and then you see them, just send them to the departure lounge and then you ask question after. Michael Manley, that before him winning. Him say warm to them rights. And you, Shearer, say warm to the rights of the person or the people them where them kill. Them not have rights to. I feel them, that's their rights we are defending. And Michael Manley was very, in public oratory, to tell the people them, say the police were their enemy and the government. And tell the all licky people them a country. Country people used to be conservative, then why is a thief and bad mind. Then got them farm plant them yam, them expect to be rich. Them send them picnic to school, and them talk about grade school and all of these things. And them know say education are the upward for mobility. Michael Manley promised them the world, and never give them nothing. And them vote for him in a drove because what? Socialism is a must. So Michael Manley's government, faced with economic challenge, sought financial assistance from international partners, including the US. However, Carter administration leveraged aid to subtle pressure Jamaica into rethinking its socialist policies. While some US economic assistance was provided, the Carter administration carefully monitored how the aid was used, ensuring it did not bolster Michael Manley's socialist agenda or deepen its ties with Cuba. So the International Monetary Fund, under US strong influence, also became a key player during this time. Jamaica's economic policies were increasingly subjected to IMF structural adjustment demands, which clashed with Manley's vision of self-reliance and social equity. Jamaica at no time during Michael Manley was self-reliant. Michael Manley are the only, and the PMP them are the only government in Jamaica where always take the economy to negative. And if people understand what negative means, then say you know growth. So critics argue that this economic squeeze was a part of a broader US strategy to undermine Manley's government. So they want to make sure that Michael Manley now use the money to give George Flasher and Tony Brown, that Angela Brownberg father, we are criminal and murderer, give the murderer them, and the brigadist them, because them were on payroll, you know, I get pay, you know. And then him go out even further and create a thing when him home guard. Yeah, Michael Manley create that too, you know, home guard. A criminal them this, you know. May I tell you, you know, them man destroy the Jamaican people mind, you know. And there's no one who have sound mind, good character and integrity would do a documentary and show the Jamaican people the wickedness of them people, you know. Create home guard for kill people in their own community who they see as labor right. So if you live in a community and you have the home guard them were placed in a community them to identify labor rights and kill them. And it was justifiable. So you live in a you live in a community, you could not expose nothing to do with the labor right. If you do it, you do it at your own peril. you'll be marked for death. Not because you're a criminal, but because you're a labor right. So Carter presidency was disguised distinguished by a commitment to human rights. But in Jamaica, this commitment came with contradictions. While his administration advocated for democracy and human rights globally, in practice, US policies in Jamaica prioritized containing socialism over promoting local political stability. The violent and polarized 1980 election in Jamaica, marred by clashes between Manley's People's National Party and Edward Seaga Jamaica Labour Party, drew international concern. Carter administration monitored these developments closely. Evidence suggests that the US, possibly through the CIA, engaged in covert activities aimed to destabilize Manley's government. These activities may have included funding opposition groups, disseminating anti-Manley propaganda, and influencing media narratives. While Carter publicly denied interference, these actions reflected broader Cold War strategies rather than his idealistic emphasis on human rights. Carter also played a significant role in redefining Jamaica along with the US relationship within the Caribbean basin, positioned Jamaica as a key battleground in the ideological struggle of Cold War. So if you're a country now, find yourself in a middle of a war with the international community, and you go up against big America, you point it in their face, you go side with the people them where oppress other people. Because the Soviet Union and Cuba, them citizens have no rights. But yet, you have Jamaicans that were there fighting to take away the rights of other people. Because guess what? A selfish people, them that, because them what they wanted to create a one-party system. They're not tell you that. You will never hear Dean Jackson Miller, Oral Tracy, or Cliff Hughes tell you that. This one-party system is like what in Cuba. You have no freedom of speech. Even when they have election, one person on the ballot. And you can't vote for nobody else because that is one person. And you have to vote. And 100% of the vote go to the same person. Everything is as a fraud, a facade. Because it's been controlled by charlatans. And we see the world a resurgent when they talk about lies. Why? And the media, that's what we tell you, say media, you know. The media can make an innocent man guilty and a guilty man innocent. So it all depends on where you consume your news. If you can't think, they might control your mind. And make you even vote against your own interests. And by the time you realize it's going to be too late because you already voted. So through alliance within regional actors opposed to socialism, such as Trinidad and Tobago, Carter sought to isolate Jamaica from its leftist allies. The administration broader Caribbean strategy aimed at countering Cuba's influence, indirectly pressure Jamaica to realign with US interests. Moreover, the Carter administration partnership with Edward Seaga, who would succeed Manley as Prime Minister in 1980, underscored its strategic interference in Jamaica's domestic policies. Seaga's pro-capitalist stance and willingness to align with the US were seen as pivotal to reversing Jamaican socialist trajectory, further demonstrating the indirect but consequential role Carter played. And in case you don't know, most Jamaicans don't know, in a 2025, well, I'm not the one to believe it, this is something we're not going to learn now. We're in America. This Joe Biden administration have been doing everything in its power against the Jamaica government right now. Because guess what? The Jamaican government, under the Prime Minister of Andrew Holness, him not promote them up is down and down is up. It's the PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization, led by the second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Golan. Yes. So that's why they were on the side of America for overthrow Andrew Holness government and want to kill him And that's why they're able to learn that drugs money and all of these things in America. We don't know if Andrew Holness administration make a report to the Justice Department, but in over 2 weeks from now, you're going to have a new president named Donald Trump. Donald Trump is everything that is against where the Democrat them is for. The Democrat is just like the PMP, all you see the destruction of black people. Just looking at the black community them in America. It's the same philosophy and ideology. Remember, I see them Democrats, when I talk about Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter is not a Democrat like them, Their policy is to keep black people docile, encourage them to commit crimes, and make them kill each other. And then when them kill each other, they end up in a white man prison. So there's nothing. And then now, the Republican, who talk the truth about them, we won't forget that they are racist on both sides, Don't forget that, But the difference is that the Republican will tell you they are more overtly racist. The Democrats are covertly racist. They're more racist than the Republican. May I tell you that as a black man in America, whether or not you want to believe it. So just look what Joe Biden did in them 4 years. Break out international laws. So them can't tell people about laws, and having them flag flying at the embassy in Jamaica. The LGBTQ plus flag, which don't represent no country. And it go against the United Nations Pact. Carter's policy during this period contributed to significant economic and political turmoil in Jamaica. So while its administration may not have directly orchestrated these outcomes, the strategic use of economic leverage, covert intervention, and diplomatic pressure exacerbated existing tensions. Manley's government faced insurmountable challenges, including economic decline, rising employment, and increased violence, which ultimately led to his electoral defeat in 1980. And the reason now we are talking about this now with the economic decline, from Michael Manley take over the government in 1972, not 1 year the Jamaican economy grew. Every year it declined negative. So how this man for be the greatest prime minister when this man never grew nothing? That's why we tell us that the only thing the PMP know for do is to create criminals like chinks. If you don't believe me, just look. The evidence is there. Anyone who come from a PMP community and honest, we tell us that majority of youths them in our community, everybody want to be done. Nobody no want to be no lawyer, no doctor, no police officer, no soldier, or teacher. Everybody want to be done because they want to control other people's lives. They don't want to control theirs. And they want to violate your human rights, but they want their human rights protected. You cannot have it both ways. You violate people's rights. That's why we love you, Shira. You violate people's rights and take away them life. Your life must be taken too. If it's not done by the state or through the court, it is done by the security forces. So critics of Carter argue that the U.S. failed to respect Jamaica's sovereignty and democratic choices. Instead of engaging constructively with Manley's vision, we talk about the people them from the university of the West Indies, the ghetto university. The one them want to meet black people no good. The same one them we try to get Dr. B in fire. The same people them we try to get Dr. B in fire in Jamaica. I will tell you already, this is an entertainment channel. So the woman there, Dr. Caroline Gomes, she and her family get rich from the killings of poor Jamaicans. And guess what? They are all PMP. Remember this woman, she are the same one. She had a cousin of Ronnie Thwaites. Most Jamaicans didn't even know that she related to Ronnie Thwaites. The man who was trying to squeak in the LGBTQ plus thing on black people, Ronald Thwaites, was pushing the rear admirals more rights than black people in Jamaica. Dr. Caroline Gomes, Ronnie Thwaites' cousin, with the same agenda for black people. Nothing good. Them people are considered themselves white people, nothing good you see them impart to our people as black people. You know, see them impart to our people, them say, boy, education is the key, upward mobility, strive to become an entrepreneur, doctor, lawyer. No, them tell the black youth them, from even my community, hey, open up your body and take what we have to come in. And then now we have a prime minister. He can't do it overtly, but him do it covertly. So we not support them kind of behavior there. I wonder if most of you remember in time, Joe Biden sent the two Rear Admiral come to Jamaica. 2 man, say them a man, yeah. 2 man, you know, husband and husband. I want to break with law and the constitution. And the prime minister said, no, we can't do that. And what the white man say, and the PMP. Them say America for boycott, for Sabbath start sanction Jamaica. Because Jamaica now let 2 white men were married in our country because it go against the laws. When we can't tell America to do that. But yet, the PMP did it. This man, the foreigner, him say the American government must sanction Jamaica for not allowing 2 men who claim that they're married for coming to our country. Mark Golden is not one of us. So Jamaican people don't be fooled. The man is a con man and a foreigner. So we thank a white man named Jimmy Carter to save us. So critics of Carter roles argue that the US failed to respect Jamaica's sovereignty and democratic choices. So that's how people them at the university to get where the West Indies say. So Carter never respect where democracy and with sovereignty. Anything for destroy Jamaica, them always. That's why I tell me glad some never attend. At least they couldn't brainwash me and them thing there. People them attend the University of the West Indies. They normally say up is down and down is up. Because these people can't think. When them go there, they must brainwash them for eat themselves and love criminals. So Jimmy Carter's role in Jamaica from 1976 to 80 reflects the complex interplay between ideology, economics, and geopolitics during the Cold War. So while Carter's personal legacy is often associated with human rights and diplomacy, his administration actions in Jamaica reveal the pragmatic and at times contradictory nature of US foreign policy. So by leveraging economic pressure, contradicting nature, US policies, engaging in covert interventions, and fostering alliances with poor US actors, Carter indirectly shaped the trajectory of Jamaica during Michael Manley's reign. Carter's legacy in Jamaica serves as a reminder of the far-reaching consequences of the Cold War policies on small nations. It underscored the need for more respectful and constructive approach to international relations, one that prioritized the aspiration and well-being of people over ideological battles. Whether seen as a strategic protector of US interests or as an enabler of Jamaica's challenges during this period, Jimmy Carter's role remains critical chapter in the history of US-Jamaica relationship. So them say now, so the Cold War clash, Jimmy Carter's strategy role in Jamaica during Michael Manley's socialist era. So we are give some historical context. Jamaica transition from Michael Manley's democratic socialism, the global Cold War landscape, the US foreign policy under President Carter, ideological tensions, the ideological divide between democratic socialism in Jamaica and US capitalism, Jimmy Carter's concern about Jamaica's ties with Cuba and the Soviet bloc. Soviet Union never wasn't a friend of black people, but the more if you espouse their philosophy or you oppress your own people, everybody want freedom. We glad for America, because if I wasn't America, we'd have live in a country where a one-man control is switch for the internet, island-wide. But them not respect Siaga for that. And Michael Manley, them a give credit for the man that was trying to bring Jamaica down to its knees, where Jamaican people have no rights. The use of foreign policy strategy, the use of economic aid as leverage to counter socialism, alleged covert actions by the US to destabilize Manley's government, and diplomatic pressures and regional alliances to isolate Jamaica from leftist influence. Then you have the IMF structural adjustment and their impact on Jamaica, economic challenges faced by Jamaica during Manley's leadership, political implications, US involvement in the 1980, Jamaican election, and the support for Edward Seaga, the broader implications of US policies on Jamaican sovereignty and democratic processes, Carter's legacy in Jamaica, the dual nature of Carter's role as a human rights advocate and Cold War strategist. And then we have the long-term effect of US policies on Jamaica's political and economic stability. So lessons for modern diplomacy, the importance of respecting the sovereignty of small nations, the unintended consequences of ideological battles on developing country. So this subject matter offers a comprehensive exploration of how global superpower dynamics shape the political and economic landscape of Jamaica during a critical period in its history. So let's not forget, Michael Manley's decision to send 2,500 young men, include my cousin, not one, more than one, to Cuba for military training during his tenure as Prime Minister represent one of the most controversial and consequential actions in Jamaica's modern history. All right, so why a youth were born and grow in our PMP community come out and tell the world that? Because we don't want it happening again. We don't want it happening again. If you look, 2,500 young men from a small island to Cuba training in military during this tenure as Prime Minister. Michael Manley have the military and him have the police force. We need to send 2,500 young men to Cuba for training in a guerrilla warfare, use of firearm, making and detonation of bombs. This bold and covert initiative, deeply rooted in the Cold War geopolitical climate, has had lasting implications for Jamaica's political and social and economic fabric. Most people now gonna tell you the truth. We come from PMP community and whose family end up go to Cuba to train and come back and terrorize the Jamaican people. But we are tell you, because we are from the belly of the beast. And we don't hold no cards to no guy or no balls. We are tell you the real mama papa truth. Mark Gold in our second coming of Michael Manley. So during the 1970s, Michael Manley's democratic socialist agenda aligned Jamaica with leftist countries, including Cuba and Fidel Castro. This alignment drew inspiration from a sheer idea of anti-imperialism, social equity, and resistance to Western hegemony, especially from the United States. We don't as usual say our white people are them dominate the world. We don't know hope, and them are the smallest group of people. We have to understand so how the world operates, and who can unleash the most terrorism and others. And them do it in a way, so boy, there's law and order for restore democracy and all kind of thing. So Manley's government face increasing internal opposition from capitalist aligned groups, businesses, elites, and external pressure from the US, which view its socialist policies as a threat to regional stability. So we used to have 3 flights where I left Jamaica every day to America. 3. Because people have to run away from Jamaica. Because Michael Manley put a bullseye on people who are doing much better than the poor. Michael Manley not tell the poor them to work hard, Him tell them, say, if a man have 2 houses, him give you 1. And that's how bad mind started. That's how bad mind and jealousy start in Jamaica. Before then, remember I say, Jamaica just became independent, and people, everybody are try to work hard to, elevate themselves. But Michael Manley, try speed it. I try tell the people them say, man, speed it up for them attain wealth, in which them never did. But he might tell them say, we use terrorism. So amidst escalating political violence, social unrest, and economic challenges, Manley sought to strengthen his regime by militarizing and ideologically fortifying his supporters. Sending young men to Cuba to train in guerrilla warfare was a strategic move designed to protect his government and to maintain his socialist trajectory. So the training in Cuba, the guerrilla in the making, the training provided in Cuba was far from conventional military instructions. These young men, including my cousins, were reportedly taught guerrilla tactics, the art of asymmetrical warfare, enabling smaller forces to combat larger, more organized opponents, use and care of firearms, mastery of small arms and other weapons necessary for both defense and offensive operation, explosive and bomb making, skills in constructing, planting, and detonating bombs, a hallmark of a guerrilla operation that's designed to disrupt and intimidate. So, right there now, we are telling them about eventide. Remember, the labor, them not getting no training, Everything when the labor, them do during this time, when them repel the PMP, they must do it from a human instinct or to defend themselves. Take cover and all of these. They weren't trained. The labor, them have no training in all these things. If you look where the building them, where you say demolish, the empty buildings them along Spanish Town Road, if you look, these are buildings that were destroyed by the same men them. Not the labor rights them. These were the people them that the PMP believe were labor rights. If you look, all even along Spanish Town Road, you see the building, the Maxfield Avenue, Waltham Park Road. All of these empty buildings were people that they believe were GLP supporters doing business in these communities, and them want them out. So them burn them out and kill them. All of these empty buildings where you see. So ideological indoctrination, exposure to Marxist Leninism principles and revolutionary rhetoric aim at deepening their commitment to the socialist cause. So this training turned individuals into highly skilled operatives capable of both defending the state and engaging in acts of political suppression or violence against perceived enemies. So these people were sent to Cuba and then returned with one goal, just to kill labor rights and police. That was their goal, because that's something that impart to us in my community at Johnson. For you have sense, them tell us that every labor right for dead and every police is dead. If there's one person from Jonestown or Concrete Jungle can come on the Jamaica Young Police and tell me, say a lie, me I tell. Come and tell me. For you have sense, and I grew up in a Jonestown Concrete Jungle, the first two enemy when they make you know are the labor right, them every labor right for dead, and every Babylon for dead, because them are your enemy. They never said that boy soldier. And since I've late now, them include the soldier. So the infuse of trained guerrillas into Jamaica already volatile political climate contributed to the unprecedented surge in violence. So Manley's decision to militarize his supporter had far-reaching implications, many of which persist to this day. So as I tell you before and I say again, you see the murder, the killing them when you say I go on in Jamaica, a Michael Manley philosophy that we live through. Don't let them tell you nothing about it. Edward Seagan never send one young man to train in any other country to come back and unleash violence on the Jamaican people. The labor, them did have gone, but it was to defend themselves from the PMP, criminal organization, brigadistas that Michael Manley sent to Cuba, including my cousins. But I gotta tell you, say, boy, one of my uncle, I am dead. If him was a part, but I gotta tell you about him. I'm dead, him dead. So these individuals were often deployed during elections and political clashes, intensifying confrontations between the ruling People's National Party and the opposition, the Jamaica Labour Party. The 1980 election in particular stands as one of the most bloodiest in Jamaica's history, mark over 800 political motivated deaths. That's what them have on record, but it's more than that, maybe close to 2,000. It was a 8-month campaign because Michael Manley knew that he was unpopular. But the reason why he had the 8 months because him have the brigadistas them there for kill, so them expect them to kill off so many labor rights that them would win. He was very unpopular. At the time, you will get all flour mixed with baking soda and like sodsil. So you used to get all things. And at one point now, when you know this because those of you who remember back then, remember said the PMP government, them did send a flour named Lion Flour and kill off a whole heap of labor right, poison them in Jamaica. No for no remember that. Lion Flour. You can't correct me about that. Who those who remember? And poison off Jamaican people because them are labor rights. And all such ideology good for Jamaica. When you kill off the own people them because you say, oh, you send poison flour to a community because that community they are living and poison and kill the people them. Them not gonna tell you that. They and Jackson Miller not gonna tell you that. Rural Tracy not gonna tell you that. And Cliff Hughes. Cliff Hughes, remember. Them not gonna tell you that. Say PMP do that to Jamaican people, poison them with flour. Because them are labor right. Them are not Jamaican, them are labor right. So one thing, so them, they are the, and if you look right now in Jamaica, just look on the community, them, all of the PMP community, them, look where all of the murders concentrate. Just look. Them, these are people these are people, them boy, may I tell you. So the little freedom where you enjoy right now, thank Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, why you enjoy it. So this militarization deepened division within Jamaican society. It created an environment where political allegiance was often enforced through fear and intimidation. The presence of trained operatives instilled a culture of violence, further polarizing communities along party lines. The skills imparted to these young men did not disappear after their immediate political utility. Many of these trained individuals eventually transitioned into the criminal underworld, using their expertise in firearms and explosives to perpetrate gang violence, later extortion, and organized crime. The legacy of this militarization can be traced to Jamaica's ongoing struggles with high crime rates and gang warfare. Michael Manley's alignment with Cuba and the training program heightened tension with the United States. Jamaica became a focal point of Cold War intrigue, with the US viewing these developments as a direct threat to its influence in the Caribbean. This strained relationship resulted in reduced economic aid and increased surveillance of Jamaica by US intelligence agency. So the moral and ethical dilemma, Manley's actions raise significant questions about the morality and ethics of such decision. What was it justifiable? Manley likely believed he was safeguarding Jamaica's independence and socialist visions against both internal and external threat. However, the long-term consequences, particularly the normalization of political violence, suggest otherwise. Who paid the price? While Manley's government may have benefited in the short term, it was the Jamaican people, especially those in the marginalized community, the poor, who bore the brunt of the violence and instability that followed. So Michael Manley, as we tell you again, never love the poor. But the poor love him. Because Michael Manley give the poor something they never had before. Terrorism, gang culture. While Michael Manley and him friend them own the banks and the business, the black man him all the leverage of terrorism. Him own the gangs. And that make him feel big. Him up on a pedestal because I'm a bad man. Him don't want to be no doctor, no lawyer. Him don't want to go on a convention. When him step to the podium, people clap him. No. Him want when time him step out, people in the community say, where you say me G? Where I go on my party? Where I go on my party? Where you say general? What me killer? No, Michael Manley no impart to you, so when you step out and say, hey, what's up, Dr. Porter? What up, Mr. Porter? That's my teacher. No, they don't want that. They want to say, hey, am I dupes that you know, I'm done that you know. That's the way I'm impart to you. So that's why the second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Golding. That's why I put Vibes Cartel, Isaac Buchanan, and all of the likes them on the podium, Courtney, Stamatera, Samuels, and all of these terrorists on the podium in September last year. Thank Jimmy Carter, or else. If it wasn't for Jimmy Carter that's helped to put cap on what Michael Manley wanted to do with Jamaica, would even have any freedom. I tell you already, said the only thing the PNP know for create are criminals like chinks. So the lesson for modern Jamaica, Manley's decision to militarize young Jamaicans and align with Cuba serve as a cautionary tale for future leaders. The second coming of Michael Manley, that are Mark Golding, underscore the dangers of prioritizing ideology over national unity and highlight the long-term consequences of introducing militarization into civilian politics. The reason why we tell you that Mark Golding, at the second coming of Michael Manley, we saw its ugly head in a 2023 when them killed Sweeney and Rum Punch in a Gregor Park. That's when we found out that Mark Golding wasn't a Jamaican. And to this day, the traitors them in a Jamaica and PNP is defending this big belly white man from England, in which he's the second coming of Michael Manley. Michael Manley, you know, destroyed Jamaica's economy from becoming the Singapore of the Caribbean, in which we would have been living as a peaceful nation. 97%, well, a significant portion of the Jamaican population could not live in a Singapore. That is what Jamaica was supposed to be. Or else they've been prisoner or dead. Them not like Jamaican people not like discipline. In a Singapore, you can't spit on the road. You can't eat chewing gum and spit it on the road. You got jail. Singapore is only country in the world where before you land in a dear country that I see him. Singapore we are talking about. But Edward Siaga. Yeah man, the same man where all I want to eat. Where them teach black people to eat. Edward Siaga, the same Singapore we are talking about. That Edward Siaga wrote the blueprint for Jamaica to become the Singapore Caribbean. Most Jamaicans don't want to live like that, to live in a society where people are educated and the household income in a Singapore higher than all of the white country them in the world. And that's the blueprint that Edward Siaga had written. Let me repeat myself. The same Edward Siaga that most, if not all, PNP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization, voters, activists and supporters hate is the same man who wrote a blueprint and made Singapore what it is. That blueprint was for Jamaica. Lee Kuan Yew visit Jamaica and ask Edward Siaga and the Labour government for a copy of the blueprint. Because him say he want to transform him country. And what him do? Him run out the British them out of him country as Singapore. You know the mistake when you make, we allow them to let them in. And that's how we get Michael Manley. Michael Manley and a born Jamaican. Don't be fool. I see him thing them I tell you with Mark Golding. But back then, the Labour right them And maybe even today, there was too much of a nice set of people. The PMP, them, they're original terrorists in Jamaica. That's the funny thing them that they have done in the past. Oh, if you love youths and you send them go learn how to kill them own people. Anytime we have no war, we have no, there's no invading forces in our country. When you have the police, you control the police force and the military. And you send young men go train in our next country to kill people in their own country. You're not a good person. You never send them go learn trade. You send them to learn to come back to kill them neighbors who are them own family, them cousin, them uncle, them aunts. And then you say, am I a greatest person? So I don't love wickedness. Me no love it. Give me the book and not the gun. When Michael Manley sent the 2,500 young men to Cuba, it underscored the dangers of prioritizing ideology over national unity and highlights the long-term consequences of introducing militarization into civilian politics. So to move forward, Jamaica must reckon with the past, acknowledge and address the lasting impact of these policies on political violence and crime. Prioritize initiatives that promote dialogue, reconciliation, and community rebuilding. Strengthen democratic institutions. Ensure that political competition does not devolve into violence by fostering transparency and accountability. Now, it's January 2025. I know prepare to learn this now. In case you do not know, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, they are preparing for war with the Jamaican people, those who do not support them and their political ideology. They have the weapons, the M16s and the AK-47 rifles. And then you have a man, one of them biggest arms dealer in Jamaica, including Chief Curry and the Maroon. And they are bent and destroying Jamaica and Jamaican people's lives. Those who do not want to abide by their ideology. But you won't hear your media house tell you that. They will not. They are not going to educate the people about it. For Jamaicans, including families like yours directly affected by these events, this period serves as a sobering reminder of how ideological fervor and geopolitical gamesmanship can destabilize a nation. The training of 2,500 young men, including my cousins, was not just a strategic maneuver. It was a decision with deep human, social, and political cost. These young men were thrust into a conflict that fundamentally altered the trajectory of their lives and the nation's future. You know, much of them dead. As Jamaica continue to grapple with the legacy of this era, it is vital to reflect on how leaders can prioritize the well-being of their people over ideology, ensuring that the scars of the past serve as a lesson for a more stable and unified future. We celebrate Jimmy Carter. To every Jamaican today who enjoy freedom to speak openly, use their phones without government surveillance, buy the food they desire, and live without fear of government control, dictating every aspect of their lives, give thanks and recognize the profound impact of Jimmy Carter during one of the most critical periods in Jamaica's history. So if it wasn't for Jimmy Carter, the freedom where you are enjoying right now in Jamaica, you wouldn't have that. So we are celebrating Jimmy Carter at the Jamaica Young Police channel. Those of you who were supporters and still are of Michael Manley and the PMP, and you live in America, you have no shame. You should be living in Cuba or Russia. And I said that without any apologies. Reason being, because that's the people that they align with. America was the enemy of Jamaican people. Yes, that's what the PMP said. So if the freedom that you enjoy, the PMP not gonna tell you that. Them not educate our people them in the school. at Jimmy Carter why Jamaica people have freedom to this day. So we say rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. His unwavering commitment to preserving democracy, freedom and human rights in the Caribbean, particularly in Jamaica, play a pivotal role in ensuring that our country did not slip into the kinds of oppressive regime that has plagued the nations like Cuba. We're not going to take away the education that the Cuban regime imparted to the people, which is good. But when you take away people's rights, people don't have no rights, that's bad. Jamaica's current freedoms are often taken for granted, yet they are fundamental to our daily lives. Freedom of speech. Jamaicans can openly criticize the government, express political opinions, and engage in free debates without fear of persecution or imprisonment. You can't do that at Cuba. So those of you who were aligned with the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, Michael Manley, from 1972 to 1980, and you live in the United States of America, I, Christopher Porter, is going to ask you, do you have any shame? Do you have any shame to even ugly some Wilfred Rattigan, who was a former FBI agent? Do you have any shame? You don't have shame. None of you are supposed to live in the US. You're not supposed to live in a Cuba or Russia. But you don't have shame. You're shameless. Any PMP supporters, activists and voters were living in the United States of America. You have no shame. None whatsoever. If you have shame, a Cuba you're supposed to live in, or Russia. But guess what? You can't go there because you're black. You don't want it in them country. But it's the ideology you want to impart and impose on us in Jamaica. Because we don't want to oppress people. So the ability to work, the economic choice where we have, the ability to work, trade and choose what we buy, from groceries to cell phone, is a cornerstone of our independence. We thank Jimmy Carter again and the American government. Not Michael Manley and the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. If it was to them, and them determine what you eat, you get ration. And if you're a PMP supporter and you live in America, you have no shame if you still support them. If you go back to Jamaica or go to Cuba or Russia, you're not supposed to live in America. America make we have freedom. That's why when I came here, I joined the military. That was my way of showing my gratitude for the freedom that the American government let me enjoy as a youngster, as a Jamaican in Jamaica. Not no Cuba, not no Russia. But them alone and the PMP, we live in a communist state. We love freedom, community liberty. Jamaicans enjoy the right to live in communities without being dictated by a centralized authority or being under constant state surveillance. Michael Manley creates an informal system, but I state. But yet now, him tell us an informer for dead. That I people them will commit crimes on behalf of his party and government. And them normalize criminality in Jamaica. But they may set up a system. That's why them come in with the home guard. You know we hear that, you know. And home guard, them kill labor right. People who expose, say them a labor right, them kill them, murder them, and tell lie upon them. And the media go along with it. So the liberty where you, the freedom where you enjoy in your community, yeah man, give thanks again to Jimmy Carter. These freedoms may seem natural, but they were preserved through deliberate actions during a time when they were under threat. So the threat of becoming like Cuba. Imagine life without these freedoms. Imagine you, the indiscipline and the corrosion and the corrobunkers and the dirty bungo Jamaicans them. Why you know where attack? Imagine the life without these freedoms. I don't like police, you know, I don't like You know, like discipline. But guess what? These things, that transform Jamaica, but it's just one way. Just with people like you, people who support, but oppose the regime would be oppressed and killed as that they were doing in the 70s. When them create the home guard them used to have a 38, a long more 38. Maybe if you fire too long or too much, you see like boy, maybe the nozzle would have just bend. That the home guard them used to have. Even when me a young police, them used to have it all a me pen. But they never use it. Oh, 2D, yeah, 2D. The 4D then it better. Yeah, real. But that 38 then, say PMP gun that freedom where you enjoy, man. Give thanks to Jimmy Carter and Edward Siaga. Where every phone calls is not monitored. Food is not rationed and dictated by the state. And any dissenting voice is silenced. So that's the reality. This is the reality in Cuba. A nation that, under Fidel Castro regime, became a symbol of government control and suppression. During Michael Manley's democratic socialist reign, Jamaica was on the brink of following this path. So imagine all of these, PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters, all the freedom where you enjoy now. It's not your PMP make you enjoy it. It's Jimmy Carter and Edward Siaga, the labor right. We want to eat. The only thing where the PMP going with is terrorism, or to kill people, and or to sully and give witnesses to crime a bad name, turning farmer in a bad thing. All the artists them and them use music. Majority of the artists them in Jamaica, dancehall, reggae, a PMP, LGBT plus criminal organization, supporters and activists. And most dancehall artists impart nothing but negativity to the people. Normalize criminality, killing, glorify it, put the criminal on pedestal, Lord celebrate. I want the youths them to emulate them. Nothing positive. That's the way PMP give you. A Michael Manley, in 1976, brought out Fed 'em Up and Borey Boy on the campaign trail and parade them all over in the Kingston metropolitan area and tell the people them say, oh, a them are my hero, not the police or the soldiers that were in that crowd. Him say a them are man are my hero because they committed genocides in Jamaica, kill people all over. Both men, and guess what? Police is afraid of them like puss, cause them all beat up police. Borey Boy and Fed 'em Up. Fed 'em Up father was an inspector. Him used to in charge of first aid. So we lucky. Say Jimmy Carter stopped Jamaica from becoming Cuba. So during Michael Manley's socialist reign, Jamaica was on the brink to become like Cuba. Manley's close ties with Cuba and his decision to align Jamaica with leftist ideologies create a clear risk of transforming Jamaica into a satellite state of the Soviet bloc. Or we as black people become a part of a system. We have white people. And I say, oh, Cuba never oppressed we. They oppress them own people. This alignment not only threaten economic independence, but also raise a specter of authoritarianism, where political opposition would be crushed, personal freedoms would be sacrificed, and the government would exert control over every aspect of life. So them want to control your life. President Jimmy Carter's rule in preserving Jamaica's freedom and Jamaican President Jimmy Carter, despite being a proponent of diplomacy and human rights, understood the broader implications of Jamaica's potential drift toward a Cuban style government. His administration took several crucial steps to ensure that Jamaica retained its democratic institutions and freedoms. Carter's administration strategically used economic aid to maintain leverage over Jamaica, ensuring that the country did not become entirely dependent on Cuba. So we used to have our Cuban milk, Remember on Friday? you see, all the AMC that are beside back to AMC was a pivotal distribution center where them distribute the Cuban thing them. I talk about memory as a youth. I tell you that. Where them used to have a Cuban milk and all of them thing and you say and upon Friday them time and go on they chop them and deliver it. So if you're not a PMP, you now get none. I tell you that. Yes. When you can't tell me say I lie, I talk from memory. All them used to control. This used to happen when Michael Manley a prime minister in a Jamaica. If you know the panel list as a PMP, when them a go on with the truck, them a come from AMC, a Spanish Town Road, you can't get none of milk them or nothing. Because you have people, the same thing them a tell about informer. Them have people in a community, them we are informer. If you now promote PMP politically, say power and stand firm, you can't depend on the list there. So if you don't depend it and out there promote them, you don't know, no, you get bomb out or you get killed and you can't get none of the milk them or nothing, none of the ration them. Dean Jackson Miller and Oral Tracy and Cliff Hughes, them not gonna tell you that. And them are not Jamaican, you know, them are PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporter. Because none of them, you know, up to now, them don't tell you that no white people don't come to Jamaica as slave, as Mark Golan. Tell the Jamaican people, the low IQ people, them, and tell them say in born at Jamaica. In which him not a schoolmate at Jamaica. Me never see a man who can born two places. Him for born in London, England and Jamaica. And we me that silent. So I treat them. So that's why we have to give thanks to Jimmy Carter. Because he's a man, this you know. In our next country, exert pressure while we have freedom. The British still, them send a man from England near Michael Manley. You know what? I most don't understand how Michael Manley become leader of the PMP. I see him corruption, I buy them by vote. Michael Manley father said Michael Manley not supposed to be the leader of the party. I'm saying Michael Manley and a leader. A female father, Norman Manley said that. If they see him, all man of them kill. When him Willie Williams in a Montego Bay, him didn't know Norman Manley. Norman Manley said Michael Manley not supposed to be in a leader, because I'm a leader. Michael Manley never born in Jamaica. You're a British citizen, just like Mark Golan, the second coming of Michael Manley. While respecting Jamaica's sovereignty, Carter's administration ensured that Manley government did not cross the threshold of becoming an authoritarian regime. Alleged covert operation, while controversial, were aimed at preserving democratic freedom for the Jamaican people. Carter's broader Caribbean basis strategy emphasized the importance of strong democratic institutions and regional stability. So this approach indirectly support Jamaica by reinforcing the values of free elections, political plurality, and civil liberties. No matter about the police them in a murder, the labor right them, like the gully rye. You have whole heap of other police too, you know. Hey, look here. Me know a brother name he used to live in our yard, you know, McCain. Them call him Ironside. I don't know still you know, but he used to live in our yard at Jonestown. He used to there on DK Duncan after a while, and he used to there on Dudley Thompson before him on DK Duncan. Him and Piggy and them man, Piggy Williams, that are one bad police and was them used to in a PMP arbit and them things. Ironside me and America once be. And those people who know him in time in that he never called me porter yet, a jungle Somali. I know me from a little boy, I used to live in our yard. Them the man they are more PMP than Michael Manley, you know. Yeah. And yet still in I see him, but he must leave the police force as inspector. They not give him nothing. The amount of crime when him commit for PMP, me I tell you. At least him better than Kirk. Because Kirk left as a detective. Not even detective, them take away all that from him as a sergeant. Kirk White. Those are you who are police and know Kirk White. Even when Kirk White a smile, him ugly. Me I tell you the way Kirk ugly and him thing there. Me I tell you. And guess what? Him always have some pretty woman doing. Yeah, man, those who know Kirk White, he was a detective and them thing. Most of the time he spent a St. Andrew Central. And the reason why them did done with Kirk, yeah man, Michael Manley them done with him because Kirk White Kirk not gonna tell you, you know, but me I tell you, Kirk White refuse uh, um police Barry and Big Youth tell Tony Spalding say Kirk White refuse to carry the gun then come give boy them in a Jonestown and concrete jungle. And them say I'm a traitor. And that's why him not get nothing. Even PMP in a government, can normally when PMP win, all of the PMP police them run protective service, you know. Them no want nothing to do with Kirk White. You see, like how them give Leroy Sparks, a black cranky man that come from Clarendon. I saw them, you understand what I'm saying? Them not give Kirk nothing just because Kirk refuse to drive police vehicle for coming at Jonestown for give youth them him born and grow with gun. We don't know if you understand. You have other police that you know come from there, never used to station, but them used to come in, and at times you hear man say him give them gunshot. But Kirk was one of them a standout. Kirk White. He retired from the police force at St. Mary. Kirk on the floor still doing it, but him always have some pretty girl in him. I tell you, believe you me. The man and a bad police that all Kirk left as the police force as a sergeant. All because Kirk never did him never involved in a destruction and destroying Jamaicans people's life from his own community where at the belly of the beast. McCain get inspector. I doubt if Piggy did get anything. I don't remember if Piggy even get Piggy nothing get nothing. But the man him was a bad police still. But them a PMP. But Piggy, unlike the others, Piggy no in a fight no politics still because him and Labour in a friend, him and Curly Locks and them man in a friend. But Kirk, them treat Kirk the worst, man. I'm on a born and grew in the belly of the beast. And Kirk was an exemplary police officer. When they referred Kirk, I was in a I don't honestly I don't remember when them used to revert him, but them put him back in a uniform and a PMP did in power. So that was maybe the last dagger where them put in a career. The last promotion Kirk get was in the 80s. Yeah, them not give him nothing. And Kirk another thief. You never hear them man go thief coke yet or anything like that. What so it going to you know do what them want, what them want if it do. You know, I get nothing. So moving on. So had Jimmy Carter turn a blind eye to the situation in Jamaica, the country could have easily descended into authoritarianism. The signs were evident. Political militarization, the training of 2,500 young men in guerrilla tactics in Cuba under Manley's orders was a clear step towards consolidating power through violence and intimidation. So that might tell us that Michael Manley never loved black people. Economic collapse. Manley's socialist policies, coupled with a lack of external support, were driving Jamaica into economic chaos. Without US intervention, Jamaica could have become entirely reliant on Cuba and the Soviet bloc. Loss of civil liberties, the erosion of freedoms seen in Cuba, where dissent is met with imprisonment and even death, could have become Jamaica's reality. So those of you who are promote and celebrate Michael Manley, well, you would never say anything against Michael Manley. And me, hey, look here, maybe you'd do it just like how Bob Marley never said publicly when Bob Marley was against Michael Manley's state of emergency in 1976. And by him against it, that's how him send but that's how Kibumon and Tony Spalding them and DK Duncan them came to us say Bob Marley after dead. Bob Marley, yeah man, most of you know Bob Marley refused to endorse Michael Manley for his second term because of the state of emergency, the fake state of emergency where him call lies. And what him do now, him lock up all some of Bob Marley Rasta friend them because at the time, the real bad man them in a Jamaica and gang leaders was Rastas. A Rasta is the original criminal in a Jamaica, Borrow boy, fed them up, are the original, according to them, the general, because him kill no whole heap of people and he's heartless. And guess what? He was a rear admiral too. Fed them up was a rear admiral too. But nobody not go tell you that. Borrow boy, you understand? from my community at Jonestown. So in Cuba, the citizens endure ration food, limited access to technology, and constant surveillance by the government. Jamaicans today should reflect on how close the nation came to experiencing a similar fate. So remember, in a Cuba, more than 3 people stand up and attack, you can't go to jail. In Jamaica, you have men pan corners all 20 and 30 of them. And nobody no go to jail. In a Cuba, you can't do that, even to this day. So now to thank Jimmy Carter for the freedom. All I want to know in a PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization community, I enjoy now. Give thanks to Jimmy Carter and Edward Seaga 108. If I never them, would I live like Cubans them. But them not going to educate you, because them telling you worse and the most atrocious lies about Edward Seaga. All of the Prime Minister want to have a Jamaica, from independent, from Buster right now, to Andrew Holness, the only Jamaican Prime Minister that love black people and want to see us do better and live in a better island was Edward Seaga. Because remember, the blueprint, the Singapore of 2025, supposed to be the Jamaica of 2025. That was Edward Seaga's vision. But because we allowed the British them to send them own people, what the Singapore people them did when them assigned, when them are becoming independent from Britain, them and white people did sign for them something and sell them out, like how we use Buster and Norman Manley, Michael Manley father. That's why Mark Golding can't come in at Jamaica now. Nobody from Britain can go to Singapore and in them parliament or become the prime minister. They make certain so when them sign them independence and have nothing to do with them. I went and the liberals them and the blue ones them about human rights, him run them out of them country. And look now, Singapore a model country. The people them in Singapore live better than all of the people them in a white country them in the world. When I talk about income per household. Now American household can't compare to the Singapore household. Britain, Canada, none, not even in Europe. Because the people them are more educated and technological savvy. That is what Edward Seaga wanted for Jamaica. You know what Michael Manley wanted? A terrorist paradise. I'm sending 2,500 young men to Cuba. Those of you who love criminality and terrorism, you just continue to embrace the PMP. Because the PMP, your only thing them going to turn your children into criminals. 98% of you who live in a PMP community, young men, your mother and your father, whether them are listening or not, 98% of you are destined for prison or the departure lounge. 98% of you, whether you like it or not. Right now we are speak, a youth in our PMP community right now is being killed by another PMP. Yes, and that's the culture. And guess what? Nobody now give a statement because informer is dead. Michael Manley impart and impose that ideology on black people. He don't impart nothing good to no. Nothing. I could have fallen, I see him trapped on my life. Gone. A 2 hours left. I don't want to care who like me or who don't like me. I do this because I'm one of views. I do this to save my own little island. Me not for runway. How you mean? When I say runway, I don't like say, you understand? The lawyer, my lawyer, we did have my green card in time, but this when I see when I talk about a crabby lawyer, we are talking about top lawyer. We tell with them time they PMP in a government of Jamaica when we are police. Tell we say, hey Christopher, better you leave, because they might kill you. Them see you as a turn in a way, what them a do. And you call out them people. Better you left. Because I never keep my green card in my yard with me a police. There's a lawyer have it in a lawyer have it in a safe. I tell you who. Lawyer know himself. My friend to this day. I'm not going to tell you if them a PMP or labor. I tell you I'm not a labor friend. Period. Sometimes people talk about say me runway. Yes, I mean. Because I PMP. Yeah, man. Them destroy Jamaica and Jamaica. The Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaican people with them criminality. I'm afraid of none of them. None of them. I'm afraid of Mark Golding. I'm not afraid of Peter Golden. I'm not afraid of Wilfred Rattigan. I'm not afraid of Huglisum. I'm not afraid of the Fool man there and the others that I call and threaten. I'm not afraid of none of them. None. I'm not afraid of George Pang. I'm not afraid of no Klansman. I'm not afraid of no Vibes Cartel. I'm not afraid of no Spragga Benz. I'm not afraid of none of them. I can't tell you that. None. I say it without any apologies. None of them. Because none of them are God. As I say already, and I say again. Anytime a guy wants to come, make sure you come and you have your ID for your next of kin. Me no believe in nobody if you go to the hospital with your foot up. You know, not here. No, sir. So make sure you come good. Me no fear of no red dick, no charge badness, no kulu. All of them people are coward. Them can't shoot people from back way. Me not mix up with them, so no can't shoot me from back way. And for no come with me down if I have a cat card. You understand? Una enemy of black people. We hail Jimmy Carter as the man to save Jamaica and Edward Sierra from you people. You people are evil. I want to still continue. Mark Gold is the second coming of Michael Manley. The freedom that Jamaican enjoy today, freedom of speech, economic choice, community autonomy were safeguarded by leaders like Jimmy Carter and Edward Sierra, who recognized the importance of preserving democracy in Jamaica. Carter's firm yet diplomatic approach ensured that Jamaica stay on a path of independence and freedom rather than succumbing to restrictive policies of socialism. At Jimmy Carter, why our people in Jamaica to this day I enjoy freedom. If it was the PMP alone, may I tell you, it would have been like the Cuban people them. No rights, nothing. So we give thanks to Jimmy Carter and may his soul rest in peace. And to all of the enemies them of black people in Jamaica, the traitors them were willing to sell we out because of trinkets. If you're a big belly white man, we're not so shame on you because you're not ashamed. Because you see a man who hate America living in America. None of you who hate America and live in Cuba or Russia. Because you're not ashamed. Me? No. You could never get me to live in Russia or Cuba. Me love my freedom too much. But one of that, we don't love Jamaica. We don't love the PMP. We don't have no loyalty. We don't even know what loyalty means. Loyalty means you're willing to die for your country. None of these people we hate Jimmy Carter and the American government. None of them never served them country in a capacity we are willing to give them life in Jamaica. None. But yet them will tell us, oh, you're Jamaican, you know. Lie, them are not Jamaican, them are PMP. PMP you know, normally see Jamaica as their country. Because them even want to change all the flag in the green, in the flag to orange. Because they want Jamaica to be a PMP country or just PMP alone. Yeah, Jamaica, no, Jamaica, to be a Jamaican, you have to be a PMP. I saw them view. Them view Jamaica inclusive of others who have different ideologies from them and worldview. They believe in a terrorism and wickedness. We don't say up to now. We don't see Gleaner, where a Syrian man. Joseph Matalan and the whole of them are white people. In the Arab world or in the white world, you know what them call them? Son. Niggers. Yes, them not white, but them are tell us that them white. Them are white Jamaican, them are not white. Syrians are not white people. Arabs are not white people. Just like how the white people, them call with the N-word, them call them son and the N-word. You will never see the Gleaner publish anything where them praise Jimmy Carter. The same Syrian were in charge of the Jamaica, the Gleaner. Them not gonna publish nothing on Lord Jimmy Carter. Because Jimmy Carter was against them daddy, Michael Manley from England, the white man. The man you want, the one where England. You think the white people, you think British people mean well, any good? They don't mean well. They want to destroy us still. See them here. Them hate you because of we. It's our ancestor tacky. Why America is a republic right now. It's tacky. And them group start burn down them sugar plantation and stretch them military. Them a fight war in America and Jamaica, and then it reached the other part of the Caribbean. Jamaica is the most hated colony by them. We real hero, tacky. Up to now, tacky has done a hero. Hopefully the labor them make tacky become a hero. The reason why you see PMP talk about Bob Marley. Bob Marley is a hero, but he's not a hero. As well, a hero support. A hero give him life for the freedom of others. Tacky give his life for us. That's why we are enjoying the little freedom now. Bob Marley sang through music. The same PMP them never love Bob Marley. And them see a man shoot him and try kill him, but them not tell you that turnabout brother, Lenky Rai try to kill Bob Marley and Joe Brown. And them shot him up along with Tony Welch and the police on him, Barrington Hamilton to drive a car. The police can't drive like Barrington Hamilton. I believe East me come from, so I tell you. Them not go tell you that. Them tell you lie, say, I'm on them from Tivoli Gardens. Shoot, everything when PMP them do, them blame the Tivoli Garden people. The Tivoli, man, them are Jones on burn down even time, them say the Tivoli Garden people them. When the people them at Tivoli Garden now come up that side there. I tell you, them was just there just to protect them community from the PMP invade them. General Stark used to come in a lizard town regularly. You understand? I even kill labor right down there. Them never did afraid for going at Tivoli. People them at Tivoli not go up there. So because if you fool, people will continue to fool you. As I'm saying, if you want a lie to be believed by black people, make a white man tell him. So moving on. So the freedom that we enjoy today in Jamaica, freedom of speech, economic choice, and community autonomy. We have to give Jimmy Carter credit for that. And America. We don't know if that would happen at this day and age now. Carter's firm yet diplomatic approach ensured that Jamaica stay on part of independence and freedom rather than succumbing to the restrictive policies of socialism. Jamaicans can choose what they eat, where they work, and how they live in Cuba. These choices are made by the people, by the government. In a Cuba, a government decide where what you eat, where you live, and where you work. In a Jamaica, you can choose what you eat, where you work, and where you live. In a Cuba, you can't do that. So the stark difference is a testament to the importance of Carter's intervention during Jamaica's pivotal years. Jimmy Carter is the biggest hero for Jamaica and Edward Seaga. Michael Manley has 0. You'll never have no other YouTuber, analyst, or tell you when me tell you. Me never yet praise Michael Manley. Me say, give me the gun as a police officer. But as a civilian, give me the book. Michael Manley give the people, them Jamaican people, criminality and terrorism. In Jamaica, the black man have gangs, and the white man, and the Chinese and the Indian, and them have the banks and the businesses. The black man don't want that because Michael Manley impart to him terrorism. And this thing for make him feel good, make him ego, you're done. You're a G, you're a general, you're a killer. That how Michael Manley imparted to black people. From me I grew up till now, me never see an Indian gang yet. The only two Indian and me know personally in a criminal was Oni and Carlos. I me know them very well. Because they were friends. I'm a father. I'm a mother. Carlos, although I'm a criminal, like him see him and say, I don't trust police. Because my police, them are criminal themselves. Him dead. And him teach me some things as a criminal too. I tell you. Because him ask me, I'm say best way that better you be police than a bad man. Because when you're a bad man, you can't trust nobody. Him tell me that. That Carlos and Cockburn Penna, only two brothers, them in Indian. But them didn't charge for them gang. And a black man did behind them. That's closest where you have an Indian gang. You don't have no Chinese gang. You don't have no white man gang. You never see no Syrian, them matter than no white, you know. Although them portray themselves as being white, they are Arabs. Arabs are not white people. Them call them son, the N-word. That's way white people them call them. Because white people said them want to be white and them not white. But them will tell us that them white. Because what white mean? White equal terrorism and wickedness. Not all of them, but some. But remember, say, majority of the crime and the terrorism committed on the world is committed by one race of people. And it's them. Not all of them. You have good white people and you have bad white people. You have good black people and you have bad black people. In every race, you have good and bad. So we give thanks to Jimmy Carter as a Jamaican. If it wasn't for Jimmy Carter, even those who are listening to me right now will despise my being or dare me if I put down a white man. We claim say my Jamaican Michael Manley, and I put up a white man from America named Jimmy Carter, who was the president, and another white man, Edward Seaga, who have nothing to do with my community, and the man who my community love, revere, celebrate, Michael Manley. I despise him. Reason being, because you bring gun in my community and destroy the mind of the people. We can't celebrate something like that. That's a destruction. Oh, if you celebrate the destruction, celebrate someone who import and impose destructive behavior to my people. Only black people alone have gangs in Jamaica. That's all the youths aspire to be in the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization community. They are the only one, everything that is destructive, them impose and impart it to our people. I am from a PMP community. So right now, there's nothing left for them impart to us that is destructive. See white man, I tell a black man, them say, open up your body. A Mark Golding, you know. Mark Golding and Peter Golding, you know. Them, I call two man, you know, and I wish them happy anniversary, you know. That's not legal in Jamaica, you know. I don't know which part them married, and I don't care. That fit them business that. And yet still, them say Jamaica homophobic, and a white man tell the black people, them say, tell your son, myself, to open up him body and take it like a man. And uno still, uno say uno like Batman, but that them same one celebrate them. Jimmy Carter never support but a rear admiral behavior. But these are the people that these people love. People have destroyed them mentally, ethically, and morally. Them not no moral, no morality. I want to say uno love Jamaica. Uno don't even love yourself. And this white man who dead. We don't see them put on, we don't see them say nothing in a Jamaica about it, man. If I never Jimmy Carter, you couldn't even listen to me now. In a Cuba, I just said nothing against the government there. One man just go and switch off, turn off the internet. Can you believe that? What kind of country that? In a Jamaica, the government can't turn off the internet. In America, the government can't turn it off. So we give thanks to Jimmy Carter. But yet, you have people in a Jamaica who hate Edward Seaga. If I wasn't Edward Seaga and Jimmy Carter, you couldn't have no rights or freedom we are enjoying right now in Jamaica. So we say rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. Remember saying in Cuba, you know, dissent is not tolerated, and speaking out against the government can result in imprisonment or worse. In Jamaica, yeah man, You can cuss the Prime Minister and tell him, yeah, just like in America. But if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to respect your leader. The reason why me not respect Mark Golding, because Mark Golding is Jamaican, he's a fraud. How am I going to respect a man who is a liar? I can't respect liar. Mark Golding is not one away. Mark Golding is a fraud. He's not Jamaican. Mark Golding encourage our people in Jamaica, in our Westmoreland and over, to not abide by the ruling of the courts. Openly tell them to be lawless, to embrace lawlessness. The court is a white man by him place and win. I see him PMP, them kill him, a white American, and the man wife of here hide. And the court rules say the people, them, the squatters, them to come off. And Mark Golding and the PMP tell the people, them, say them to fight and don't obey the court order. Or if you respect somebody like that, we want to dismantle even with judiciary. And then you have white people in our country, black people in our country, aside of them. Yeah, we side with Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter, where we have freedom. Now, the second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Golding. Them never care about we. So Jamaicans can aspire to improve their lives. You can start businesses and build their future without government interference. This is a freedom that many Cubans can only dream of. In a Cuba, you can't start business. You can dream of it. Thanks to Jimmy Carter, you can start business in a Jamaica, because we never descend to Cuba. So as Jamaicans, we must never forget how close we came to losing these freedoms. We thank Jimmy Carter, and may his soul rest in peace. It is our responsibility to cherish and protect them, to ensure that our nation remains free and independent. We must honor the efforts of those like Jimmy Carter, who stood firm against the tide of authoritarianism and help safeguard our democracy. Educate the youth. Share the history of this era with younger generations so they understand the value of their freedoms. So all of the youths them from my community of Jonestown and Concrete Jungle, all I want to aspire to be General Starkey or George Pang or Natty Chris or Lenky Roy. That I'm going to shoot Bob Marley, Lenky Roy, and Joe Brown, and them shoot Bob Marley. All I want to aspire to be all of them down here. Just remember, 98% of our got the departure lounge or prison. That are the only thing that the PMP imparted to us in these communities. I am from the belly. I was born and raised there. I never lived amongst a labor, right? So if you want to send me a labor, that's fine with you. I have a conscience. I don't want you to destroy your life. For you got prison, I got the departure lounge. We don't like people telling the truth. That's how we know. So we live in a time where lies are truth and truth are lies. And when them wrong, them right. And when them right, them double right. Them never wrong yet. But I have to go back to basics. We have a thing on them conscience. Some people have none. If somebody not a conscience, you can't talk to them. Or if somebody not a reasonability, you can't talk with them. Remember, for all the leaders accountable. Demand transparency and integrity from political leaders to prevent any return of authoritarianism tendency. Strengthen the democratic institution. Support organization and initiatives that promote democracy, human rights, and economic independence. We don't say in Jamaica, we don't have the human rights people, they are all criminal supporters. Because the human rights people, they are part of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. And guess what? They are not for human rights, they are for criminal rights. And they are a part of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. You saw much organization the PMP them have in Jamaica. Jamaican for Justice, the Patriots, Jamaica Arise, and the Patriots. The biggest traitors them in Jamaica are PMP. The biggest traitor them in Jamaica are the PMP. And see a woman there, when Michael Jackson, she want Jamaicans to get fired up on rights of criminals. She defend the rights of the murderers them. The men them were kill the 17 people them. The mass killers them. She defend them. She them say them have rights too. How dare the security force want to send them to the departure line after them murder them. Them have rights. Them rights must be protected. 17 people. And these are the people them black people embrace. And them eat. Up to now, when I see Gleaner put on nothing. When I see Guy Matalan, when I see him sit, when I see Guy Matalan, him put out anything, Lord, and celebrating Jimmy Carter for what he has done. It's Jimmy Carter, why Jamaica is an independent state and why Jamaican people have freedom. Just remember, every time you see these logos, don't be fooled by the logo in a green. Edward Seaga still doing give Jamaica a TV. You go back and you will see it in the 1960s. These are the propaganda machine in Jamaica from the 1970s to present. JBC, CVM, and TVJ. We thank Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter have done everything to leave a legacy with us. Every Jamaicans who enjoy freedom to speak openly and use their phones without government surveillance. Yeah, man, thank Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, why we enjoy this as black people. Jimmy Carter's strategic role during the Michael Mann, the socialist era. If it wasn't Jimmy Carter, man, black people wouldn't have no rights in Jamaica. But the other man, Edward Sierra, play a pivotal role. The man who wanted Jamaica to be the Singapore of the Caribbean. Black people never love him. Them eat him like poison. This are the man who black people in Jamaica love. Michael Manley. The man who imparted and imposed terrorism on us as a people. In 1972, when Michael Manley won, Jamaica was en route to become Singapore, and he turned Jamaica into a criminal paradise by creating killers who turn on their neighbors. Liars won't tell you that, but we will. Jamaica is supposed to be the Singapore of the Caribbean. Singapore became a first world island because of Jamaica. The blueprint that this man, the American, yes, Edward Seaga is a born American with Jamaican parentage. Edward Seaga is the author of the Singapore's blueprint, which is why it is a first world country. His blueprint created a first world country, and the licky voters choose the one-day bellyful candidate. As I said to you before, and I say again, give me the book and not the gun. But them rather the gun because they want to control people. They want fear. So the American never sent one Jamaican to train in a guerrilla warfare. But the Englishman, the man born in England, Michael Manley, they will tell us Michael born in Jamaica like how they will tell us Mark Golin born in Jamaica and him not a schoolmate. I have schoolmate in Jamaica. I have schoolmates even, and I can't tell them a schoolmate. I have a schoolmate who are living in Washington, D.C., and I'm a nephrologist. Him named Dr. Garrett Roll. Every Jamaicans who value their freedom should give thanks for the critical role Jimmy Carter played during this era by standing firm against the spread of authoritarianism and supporting democratic ideals. Carter helped ensure that Jamaica did not become a mirror of Cuba. Today, as I speak, you are able to speak your mind. Use your phone. Listen where you want to listen. That's why you can't listen to me right now. In a Cuba, them can't do that. But yet, we don't love Michael Manley. If it was up to Michael Manley, you could not be listening to me right now. Because the PMP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization, did not want that for Jamaican people. They want to control your life. But the ones that want to go along with the PMP, they know that it was to oppress them opponents, the people, them rival, the labor rights, them. Who them the view as Jamaicans? They are not Jamaicans, the PNP, them are not Jamaicans, because they are not patriots. They are the traitors of Jamaica. So remember that today, as you speak your mind, use your phone, buy the food you desire, and live freely in your community. Take a moment to appreciate the sacrifices and decisions that preserve these liberties. Let this gratitude inspire us to continue building Jamaica where freedom, democracy, and opportunity flourish for our generations to come. We cannot afford to go backwards. We have to continue. Remember, Edward Seaga never sent a single Jamaican men. One mean man, more than one is men. He never sent one man for train with military training for come back and unleash it on the Jamaican people. That's how the man where you do it. On a daddy, on a white daddy. I want to love white people, white, destructive, and wicked people. Michael Manley. I know we have Michael Manley. The second coming of Michael Manley, Mark Golding. The man will have nothing to do with Jamaica. Mark Golding is not one of us. He's a foreigner and a con man. Jamaican don't be fooled by this white man. Him not born a Jamaica. See him have a Jamaican flag. Him not have nothing to do with it. The man that him have schoolmate. But yet, these are the same people who support the PNP. We tell you, say, Michael Manley is the best thing since sliced bread. But none of them won't tell you that Michael Manley never born a Jamaica like Mark Golding. None of them won't tell you that Michael Manley is the epitome of evil, import terrorism and wickedness and gun culture on our people because he wants to consolidate power to turn Jamaica like Cuba. Remember, if Michael Manley never put the Jamaica economy in a tailspin and turn back the hands of time, Jamaica would be the Singapore of the Caribbean, in which would be the model community, society, an island where everyone would want to aspire to be like us. But the only thing that Jamaicans are known for, apart from athleticism, reggae music, dancehall, the only thing with dancehall is nothing positive to the mind. It's all destructive, killing, and debasing of self. Edward Seaga is the author of the Singapore Blueprint, which is why it's a first world country. Black people don't love him. Because the white man, the white daddy tell them, say, Seaga, say him father no born here. But Edward Seaga father born in Jamaica, and his mother born in Jamaica. Michael Manley never born there. But that I think with the labor, them slow for react. And that is where they falter. And over the years, over the decades, the CMPMP are able to control the narrative with them lies. So we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, yeah man, we celebrate the life of Jimmy Carter, the 39th US president, who saved us as a people from become an authoritarian island. Jimmy Carter is best at him save Jamaica. Yes. Big up yourself, diplomat. Lion flour and I buy flour mix with salt. You alright? So PMP doesn't care about Jamaica or Jamaican. They must see themselves as Jamaican. The Home Guard killed Tech Life, PMP, and got away with it. Alright. And Tech Life was a labor right, a Rasta man. So see, people remember. Seaga did not arm the Tivoli Gardens criminal too. And you hear me say it. Seaga was controlled as well. Controlled by who? You from Jonestown and a labor right? No, I'm not a labor right. I'm a Jamaican, I'm a patriot. That's why I tell you the truth. If me never live in a labourite community, so you understand? I have never seen myself as a labourite. I see myself as a Jamaican. That's why me defend Jamaica. I don't defend the party. Only thing me know say the PMP, only thing the PMP know for create a criminals. So me no want nothing to do with them. Give me the book and not the gun. So we have two political parties. One is how the destruction of black people. As you see what Mark Golden did, that I second coming of Michael Manley, when he parried Vibes Cartel, Courtney, Stamatero, Samuels, Isaac, Rear Admiral, Buchanan, Bojo Banton. It's be a criminal them parade up there. So that's how them I tell the youth them. In my community when me born and grow to become criminal. I mean I tell them say not to do that. So because me I tell them say not to do to embrace criminality and stay far from it, me a labor right. Well, so be it then. Because we don't see labor right them a promote. We never see them bring out liberty. We never see them bring out liberty. Courtney Stamatero, you know, the leader for the Klansman gang of Spanish Town, you know. And him have license gun. And plus him have whole heap of police in him corner too. Licky police. This is a man who got prison in America, you know. And when him in a prison, I'll kill. When him in a prison in America, I'll kill all one of him lover. I'm a rear admiral. So Jamaica must go and do a research. The criminal organization was the one build a house in the middle of West Street and 7th Street to separate the Jamaican people. See somebody I tell you that. See, I love Jamaica more than Jamaicans. I don't lie, I tell. Blessed son. And that's how them do. For turn the people them against each other. Them build house in a Migler Road. The PMP do that, you know. To separate the people and create division with black people. And them love them. What about unity? We are all black people, all our way. Our descendants was brought to Jamaica on the slave ships. And it was for this man. And I see them white people them from Britain. Them send Michael Manley come down there. And I see him a long time the PMP are buy voting and them buy vote and vote mean. You ever hear them tell about the other people them when I PMP were senior Michael Manley who deserve a leadership? You're not gonna hear them tell you that. Because I buy vote. I saw them say them licky. Long time. Buy vote. You understand? So DK Duncan, Keeberman, Dudley Thompson, Trevor Manuel, Wilson Isaacs, Wilson Isaac Matthews, they call Matthews Lane, must take full blame for what's happening in Jamaica. Tony Sparling, John Maxwell, two must be blamed. Yeah, man, John Maxwell was a man who worked on, what the music call it again? He was a PMP activist for JBC too, you know. He was just like Randy Tweets. And then you have a brother down. Him, that brother the way him wicked. What him name again? Him in a wheelchair right now, them say, you know. A wickedness all while, Garnet Roper. When you're wicked, you know, man, your sins, you can't escape your sins, you know. Garnet Roper, that's why he must suffer before him dead, you know, man. Them man, they're wicked and lie to black people, you know. You know how many lives them man they destroy by sitting around a mic? Yeah, man. So Garnet Roper now understands that all him can do is just look. I got him a retribution, man, and I'm sins that you think all the one and you ran it with, you think, what's weird? Him, I got suffer wicked before him dead too, you know. The amount of black people life them destroy and Trevor Manuel, all him. I tell you, man, but these are the people that when them put on pedestal. You understand? Respect diplomat eyes. Big up yourself, Never Williams, man. The man a foundation, man, you know, from the get-go, you know, man. Never Williams. You understand? Yes, man. All right. So a $5 trillion Mark Golden them compared with today's money in Jamaica, $5 trillion Mark Golden, Peter Golden, PJ Patterson, all of the PMP they rob from the people them in Jamaica. $5 trillion in a Jamaican dollar today. But yet, you know, you nobody talk about it. Now, Dean Jackson Miller now go tell you that, you know. You understand? Dean Jackson Miller now go tell you that. And what this guy named Cliff Hughes and Oral Tracy, them now go tell you that. Because them want to keep the Jamaican people docile. And then Iceprat, yeah, the rear admiral Isaac Buchanan, I tell the people them like say I plant them say him pick up bag. I lie I tell. Them man they all drug dealer and them thing there. But as we say, you could have been somewhere else, but you choose to be here, and we appreciate you spending time with us. And today we are celebrating the life of Jimmy Carter. Yeah, man. Because if it wasn't Jimmy Carter, the freedom that Jamaican enjoy today for buy them own food. Yeah, man, we I tell you. The freedom where you enjoy today. You can speak your mind. You can listen to me on your phone, your TV, or your computer. You can use your phone. You can buy food you desire and live freely in your community and take a moment to appreciate the sacrifices and decisions that preserve these liberty. So this gratitude inspire us to continue building a Jamaica where freedom, democracy, and opportunity flourish for generations to come. We never get this because them want you to have it. A fight, we never fight for it. If it wasn't for Jimmy Carter, Michael Mann and him cliques would have Jamaica like Cuba. Where them control the switch and turn off the internet and them not like what's streaming towards the people. Anytime you have a government, we have to monitor what people say and think is an oppressive government. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.